Ben Reitzes of Melius Research, head of technology research, joins us here at Post 9. What a remarkable week. And it's amazing to watch him sort of thread this needle between American interests and definitely selling to the Chinese market and the Chinese.
Yeah, it's amazing. You're seeing what you get with one of the world's best CEOs of all time, maybe the best, and the intangibles you get, how he threaded this needle, how he went and did the right thing for the company, the world, and the shareholders all in one. It's really wild. And he turned Trump around, and then he obviously is dealing with the Chinese, and he's hustling. And I've never seen a guy work so hard just at this consistent pace. And it's really amazing to see, and it's a privilege to know him.
This is for a man born in Taiwan, right? There's a nice report this morning where he told some reporters in Beijing that he would love to buy a car from Xiaomi. It's just a different tone, but he's managing to ride both waves at the same time.
Yeah, he has a way with people, too. He makes people feel special, and Jim Cramer's talked about it, but it really is true. And I think he has a way of rubbing off people, and you're seeing it. And this has been an amazing diplomatic effort by Nvidia, and it's paying off. Let's hope it continues to pay off. And I'm pretty optimistic that they're getting not only 10% of sales back, but even more. It could be up to 20%. They do need to continue to get approval for chips as we go throughout the Trump presidency. But, I'll never put something past Jensen to be able to do so.
I know you're an equity analyst, and so you're analyzing the impact for the stock and the revenue for Nvidia, which is all positive. But are there valid security concerns for why these were banned in the first place that will eventually come back and bite us?
Well, look, nobody knows better than Jensen. He says there's not a defense concern, that it's not going to go into weaponry. I think when you look at the chips that are approved, they are prior. The H20 is it's kind of like ancient, but the fact that it's still better than what Huawei has is pretty impressive. And then the new RTX Pro that he put out doesn't have the HBM content, so it really means they're going to use it in the digital twins, in certain industrial use cases. So, of course, there could be nefarious efforts which are bound to happen in some way, maybe, but it's not like they're selling them the best stuff, and they are trying to make the use cases at least pretty targeted, and they're doing the best they can. And by the way, though, what's the alternative? You have a Huawei stack, and everybody learns whatever software Huawei uses and the architecture and starts to design around it. Then they go to Europe and start selling that to our allies. That becomes a national security concern if the Chinese state entity is selling to everybody in the world. We cannot let that happen, because if China's running the AI of Europe and the Middle East, what does that say about the United States? So I think the administration should be applauded for thinking hey, let's not give them too much, but not too little, because we can't afford for them to export that technology to our allies.
Does AMD get to ride this dynamic as well?
Yeah, well, the AMD situation is a little different, right? Because what's happening, even outside of China, is inferencing is so big. The use of AI and the reasoning models, and so it's so big. Our thesis on AMD is, how could they? Lisa Su's real. She's great. She's very compelling. Nothing against Jensen, but how do they not get 5% share of the market? Not even 10. If they get 5% of the market in 2028, that's $25 billion in GPU sales. That's $9.50, $10 in earnings. So our bet on AMD is they have a good product. It's really good for inferencing, and people are going to give them a look. So we're hearing, Meta's a little more interested in some of the new stuff, XAI. OpenAI, really interested. So our thesis there. Now, China, for them, it could be add 20% plus to their AI revenue, but they just have the old chip they were selling. We need to hear about more chips to get more confident, but it's great for AMD. Don't get me wrong, it's great for AMD.
Jensen made some comments last week about how AI would displace labor. Does it jibe with your general thesis? Because his take is that, as he put it, you're not going to lose your job to AI, you'll lose your job to someone who uses AI.
Well, I think that I wrote a piece today about OPEX at the tech leaders who are the ones adopting AI just really going down, and I actually think it accelerates down. So OPEX as a percent of sales. The thing that's in right now is keeping OPEX flat growing your sales and pocketing the leverage. And we think that it's just beginning. AI agents are going to explode that. And as a public company, any public company outside of tech, you're going to go, I got to do that because that guy's stock's going up. And we think it's just getting started. Agents are just going to be able to do this. And what it's going to do is it's going to reduce your software seats. So seat-based models are threatened, and outcome-based models are rewarded. And what that means is like infrastructure software could do better, but it really just means keep buying Nvidia, guys. They're going to power the AI models. You know they're going to win. Maybe keep buying the clouds who are going to host all and deploy it. But the SaaS guys, it's going to be tough because those seats, I mean, at a very least, don't grow ever again. You heard it.
Okay, so Nvidia, beneficiary. AMD, you think is beneficiary.
Yeah.
Who else? Whether it's the China stuff or the sort of new advances you're talking
Broadcom
about.
has a great portfolio of infrastructure software, and of course, they're leading and doing great. We just put out a piece raising our targets again on Microsoft and Oracle, and you be like, oh, that's great news, Ben. Well, I mean, obviously, we've been saying it for a long time, but their revenues are accelerating while all the SaaS guys are decelerating. This is not that hard. You know, I was there when hardware stocks went to 8 times earnings because the cloud ate their lunch. It can always get worse. This is a complete reversal of Andreessen's software eating the world, and AI is eating software. So we're 2.5 years into this. I mean, agents haven't even really started. So there's going to be outsized benefits, and the numbers can get really big. Can get really big, and I know you think it's big now.
Just wait.
Just wait.
Okay.
You've been able to see around some big corners, Ben. We're lucky to have you here. Thanks.
Hey, thanks, guys. It's always a pleasure.